All right. It is the Sabbath day. Blessed be the name of Yah the King, the creator of heaven and earth and all there is above the heavens and the earth, the fountain of living waters and the only Savior of the house of Israel and the entire earth. My doorbell had just rang and I answered it. This is my first time actually trying a live feed and a live video. So this won't be long, it's just short, and maybe you guys will be able to look at it and listen to it later on today. So I was in the middle of doing a lesson when all of a sudden my doorbell rang. I answered it. Romans at my door, one Gentile female and her daughter. And they asked me, do I believe in JC? I said, no. Is there a church that you go to? I said, no. I took the pamphlet from her hand. I'm standing in my doorway. And I asked her a few simple questions. So the conversation went like this. All right. I asked her simply, I said, is the church the house of God? That was the first question I asked this woman, because she rang my doorbell. I'm talking, this happened like 3 minutes ago. I was in the middle of doing a lesson when she disturbed me, rang my doorbell, wanted to know if I go to church, etc. I asked her simply, is the church the house of God? She says yes. Then she says no, and says that she is the temple of God. The body is the temple of God. I said, okay. I said, how many temples were built onto the Most High, or was built onto God, as you would call him? She says one. So what people are not accustomed to, they're not accustomed to when they present this information. They're not accustomed to dealing with someone who is knowledgeable in this topic that can actually present logical and challenging questions to them. And once this is done, they become angry. Anyhow, let me continue with this conversation here. So she says one. She says Solomon. I said, no. I said there was two. The first one was built by Solomon and the second one was built by Zerubbabel, and they were both destroyed. I told her then that the Most High said specifically that our tithe, our offering, our sacrifices, and our gifts were to be brought onto him in one specific place, and that will be the place that he chose. I told her specifically that the Most High has never had a house or a temple in North America or any place else. And I listed a few other nations. She's becoming uneasy. She's becoming angry. So I'm asking her now, I said, okay, who is the Son of God? Then she tells me, David is God's only begotten. I said, what if I show you that that's not the case, and that David is the Most High's begotten? Then she started going into a big JC tirade. Okay, JC this and JC that. And I asked her simply, can any man change the word of God? Can God say something and any man come behind him and change what the Creator has said? And she started bouncing all over the place. So I asked her simply, who is the Son of God? And then she begins to say JC. I said, well, how about if I show you that that's not the case? So from where I sit right now to my door, maybe about 10, maybe 11 feet, maybe 12 feet. So I was doing this video to upload to the channel, which I had to stop. And I grabbed my book because it was right here. No, sir, no, we've got to go. So I opened my book and I was getting ready to show her that, look, the Most High said his son is Israel, the nation. And the Most High here is saying out of his own mouth that his begotten is David. This woman almost, you can see her literally almost shaking. She is so hot, right? She's upset. Bye, sir. You have a good day. She started walking away. I said, this Jesus thing is a myth, and she continued to walk away. I simply closed my door, came here and decided, you know what? I'll fire this thing up and go live. That way I can let you know exactly what I'm experiencing here in South Carolina. This is something that they do often. At one time, I had two Jehovah's Witnesses come here. Excuse me, two old Caucasian gentlemen. Sat them down at this very table where I sit, and you could almost, one of them almost went into convulsions. He was shaking so much based on what he was hearing. And they also had to run. I had three Israelites who came here at one point, older men, and I opened up this book, and what they were saying, I was contending with them, and I was going to the words of the Most High doing this. I didn't pull out some nursery rhyme book or some other book. I'm using the book that they had, and I'm using the words of the Most High and the Most High's prophets, and they absolutely refused to hear it. Like the woman and her daughter that just left my door. She was upset. The daughter was standing there with a very different look on her face. She was more trying to listen, but the mother was upset. And the words of the Most High and the laws of the Most High, she could not take it within her ears. This lady almost ran out my driveway. Okay, so this is what takes place when you pull this word out on people who are bringing you idolatry. They expect you to take it at full value. They expect you to swallow it whole, not ask any questions, and not be knowledgeable of how to respond to them. This lady was trying to invite me to her church or encourage me to come to her church. I asked her a very simple question. How many temples were built onto the Most High? If you're in this book, you know it's two. Very simple. She couldn't answer that. All she could give me was Solomon. I wanted to grill her more to show her the errors of what it is that she quote unquote believed. But the words of the Most High is such fire, it burns you up. So she ran. And you will see when dealing with those who are trying to present and push this Christianity, this Roman Catholicism is just Christianity, just another branch of this. As they begin to push this on you, and you go into the book, not to some foreign entity, just into the book, and you start using the Most High's words and showing them how what they believe in and what they quote unquote practice is contrary to what the Most High have instructed the children of Israel, their rebellious behavior is it's fascinating to watch and to see. This is the Sabbath day. We're supposed to be at home. We're supposed to be at rest. We're supposed to be within our dwelling places. No servile work is to be done on the Sabbath day. I am at home, at rest, reading the words of the Most High. Today I was supposed to be one of my fasting Sabbaths, but I didn't fast because I was going to do a video that this woman just interrupted. But you know, it's a Sabbath day, but she's out here with her daughter, walking around, giving out pamphlets, trying to get people to go to what she considers the house of God, when it's nothing but a house onto an idol. And many people who have not read this book and taken the time to study it don't know this. And so therefore, we fall into traps and snares going into these temples or these houses onto idols. And we have been doing this for quite some time. It's been 400 years since we have been doing this. Now, let's analyze a few things pertaining to this house of idol worship. Number one, we were not allowed to go into the house of idol worship with these people during the days of slavery. The quote unquote black slaves had to have their own place to go and their own place to quote unquote worship. And this is supposed to be of the same God. At least that's what they have told us. Now, these people have burnt down, many of the churches that our people have built. So why would someone give you a book, okay, and they have churches and encourage you to walk after the God that they're teaching, and then they tell you that you cannot sit with them, you cannot come to their churches? That's fine. and then you go and build a church because they did not want you to sit in their church. Now, granted, they're giving you this same God that they so quote unquote believe in, told us that we were not allowed to sit and worship with them. So therefore, we were forced to build our own churches, houses of idol worship. And when we did this, they would burn them down. If you look up the history of the black churches that have been burnt down by Europeans here in America, it's staggering. So we understand clearly, based on the treatment of these people, of the European people who have actually enslaved us, based on their treatment towards us, we know clearly these people are not the people of the Most High. Without a shadow of a doubt, we know this. We continue to walk after this idolatry, and it has been to our hurt. As soon as we're killed and we're harmed in the street, the first thing someone is going to say is, oh, well, he was a good church member, he was this and he was that. It seems as though all of our people who have actually placed their trust in this idol, they seem to be the biggest victims of crimes and everything else. When it comes to hate crimes are done against our people here in America more than any other group of people. We're at the bottom of the barrel in everything. So we can clearly attest by bearing witness with our own eyes that these houses of idol worship has not worked for us. So here I have a woman that is coming to my door, her and her daughter, trying to entice me to come to their church and serve their idol. Me understanding clearly this book, understanding clearly the plague of leprosy, and understanding clearly that we are not to serve any other God but the Creator himself, and we are not to enter any houses onto idols. For the Most High only had two houses built onto him, one by Solomon, one by Zerubbabel. Both of those were destroyed, and the third one will be built in the same place as the previous two. We are to take our tithe, our offerings, and our sacrifices and our gifts to the one place that the Most High chose. And he has never chosen North America, South America, Latin America, anywhere else. It has been Zion, the city of David. And that's it. So I just wanted to get on here to let you all know, be wary of these Romans who are going to present themselves as nothing but wolves in sheep's clothing, trying to entice our people to walk after that which we know for a fact has been harmful to us for the past 400 years. And once we reject this, they become angry because we are armed with the spirit of the Most High and the knowledge that the Most High has given us to contend with the idolatry that they present to us. Anyway, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Be wary of these Romans. Christianity is nothing but a branch of Roman Catholicism. It's all of the same tree. It is all idolatry, and we're not to do it. Anyway, peace, Israel, and Yah bless.